they're also managing. So there's an enormous amount of land, lots of sandalwood. It's obviously one of our favorite products. The average tree is about 50 years old. They don't grow to be terribly old, and the oldest tree they have on the property is 86 years old. So like we mentioned, it's a parasite. It's not a long-living tree, but it does produce some amazing oil. So why do you think we have you guys come here? Because you're awesome. That's true. That's one of the reasons. Why else? Free labor. Right? Nobody's paying you to plant trees, right? It's awesome. Actually, I think if Wade's honest, you kind of give him the type of help you get from your kids, like help you off a cliff kind of help. So it's not that we necessarily do that much from what we do in planting, but the reason we come here is we want you to experience seed to seal. Right? You hear about, who's heard of seed to seal before? All right, very good. All of you, I think everybody's heard of seed to seal. Who's been to a farm before? For whom is this your first farm? All right, great. So a lot of you, this is the first time you've been to one of the places where we source our oils. Now the reason we do this, and we try to do every time we do a Young Living event, we try to have it in some kind of great place that also has a farm or a forest where you can experience it. And why do we do that? Free labor, like I said, free labor. No, that's not why we do it. We do it because we want to make sure you understand that Seed to Seal, it's not a marketing slogan. There are too many marketing slogans in the world today, where they say, oh, we're this, that, whatever. You don't have to take our word for it, right? You can come, you can actually plant a tree. You did that, and someday that tree is going to produce oil that your family will use. That's the circle of life that we're a part of. To see and be a part of the process. That comes from every single one of the oils that we source. Every single one of them come from the ground. And you understand when you...
We take out as many of the dead and dying trees as we can. And then we classify a dead or dying tree as a tree that has its canopy or its leaves on the top 50% less than what it should be. Or if bark is exposed 50% of the tree of its entirety. And so if the bark on a tree that big is missing, it's hard for the tree to grow it back. So the funguses and everything else can start to... The most we've gotten is 42 trees off of one tree that we've extracted. You know, 42. Between 5 and 42. The average is about 10 or 15. You know, and it'd be crazy for us to think that they'll all survive. But, you know, only the strong will survive, and chainsaws all the way up to the granulator and the stills. So he's got to have a big brain on his shoulders. Yes, he's my dad's classmate from high school. He used to live in Oregon, and we're like, no, we need somebody smart, we need somebody good looking, and he fits the bill. And then we got Peter. He's the pit bull. Birthday, dear Spencer. Happy birthday to you. He's not normally that red. You guys did that. Good job. To fit our reforestation plan. And so we take it from here, we put it inside of that machine there. And that loud machine is our debarker. And it just spins these bark trees until the finished product is these debarked trees. And if you look at them, they look kind of rough inside. What do we do from there? We take them to the chipper, which is the big yellow machine over there. We chip them up, and then we get bigger chips. And then from there, we take it to the granulator, which is James's little baby. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So be careful. We're going to walk down to the bottom, to the right Quonset hut down there.
You know, I like it because he's warm.
It's bigger.
No, that is before. That is a byproduct. The after. The oil?
It's almost melting.
That never goes into the distiller. The only thing that goes into the distiller is that.
Oh, okay.
Because those would clog up our machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, huh?
Yep, that's
Free.
他不会进的，他进的只有那种。
clog up the distiller in a way. They basically make cement.
我们没炸过，这是完全新鲜的，没有炸过的没这种。
And with this lever, I control how much water I allow in here, how much of that hydrosol I allow in here. Basically this. So if you could take this big thing is basically a small version of this, is a small version of this, the water underneath. And with this lever, I'm able to allow water in and out, which allows me to raise the level of oil to get to the inside of the pipe, and it comes out. So if I raise this, see the oil coming up? There's too much oil in there right now to see the hydrosol that comes up underneath it. But we fill it up, we take it from here. And then from here, we take it into our education center and our oil facility, and we take it one step further. We put it in a 40-degree centigrade bath, a water bath, because it has to boil off a little bit more water before it comes clear enough for the oil to be sold to our end product. We choose 40 degrees because there's two big chemical properties. There's alpha xanthanol and there's beta xanthanol. Beta xanthanol burns off after 50 degrees centigrade. So we want to keep it well underneath that. Because we could put it in our baths at 70, 80 degrees centigrade and it'll clear within the hour. But we'll lose a lot of that beta xanthanol that makes our sandalwood what it is. Makes it that antimicrobial strength to it. So we keep it at 40, we let it sit for 72 hours in that bath, and then we go and store it, and then it's ready to be shipped to Young Living.
We are at the distillery. Of the sandalwood oil.
延伸去找，他要去找，他要寄生的那个树，往外走，大概可以走个300多树
No, this one you can sit right here and how this project came to fruition, and you know the specific management practices that we use in the forest, and you know, like some exciting new developments in our program as well. Okay, so we are not a farm. We are a reforestation program. And so when Uncle Wade purchased this 3,000 acres 9 years ago, he did it with the intent to manage this property. And so Uncle Wade grew up hunting here, and he recognized that there is a valuable natural resource here, and it had this area, this forest had to be protected. And so they purchased it with the help of private investors, and they're utilizing the funds from the natural resources, namely sandalwood, to manage the land. And so the management that we practice takes several different forms. The most effective form of management is building fences, because when you build fences, obviously it's still alive. And so we don't want to cut any live, healthy trees for several reasons. These live, healthy trees produce the most seed out of all the trees in the forest, and live, healthy trees don't have a lot of oil content. So the sandalwood tree produces the oil as a self-defense mechanism. So it produces the oil and it helps protect the tree from fungus and insects. And
I know it's very hard.
Sorry, just get distracted.
It's hard for us to hear too.
And
What's your story?
yeah, I got a long story, so we don't have time for that. But so yeah, our practice, you know, like as we're removing this new growth, we found that for every tree that we remove, we're getting 10 to 15 new ones come back. And so what happens is when we remove these trees, the live trees, we fracture the roots. Trees, and they'll actually harass them with hammers and beat the bark away, and that will just produce oils. And other places, they'll put a metal band that doesn't stretch around the tree at the very base. And what that does is as the tree grows, it girdles itself and kills itself slowly. And then you also get your trees harvested at a uniform size because all of them are dying at that specific circumference.
So do you think the property of the oil is different because they force the tree to be killed?
No, because the tree produces that naturally when it's dying. And so it's not necessarily the quality, but the concentration of oil in the wood, so the percentage. And so because there's so much regeneration when we do this harvest, we don't have to do much planting of sandalwood in the forest. All of our planting in the forest is geared around planting hosts. Okay.
Is the dirt from the lava soil?
This is
哇，
sickles.
这个相思树的
And
那
the
个叶子看就是这
sickles,
样子的。
actually, they're not leaves.
它接长了以后，
They're-
就长出那么一个一个的长的那个东西啊，这个
Little
扁的
botany
但它那个不
lesson,
是
a
叶
little
子，这
below,
样你像
but you
如
don't
果
want
是要
it
低一点的
above.
话呢，
Comes
没有
right out.
有
Sometimes
时候呢
you
一下
gotta
就
do
出来了，
that.
有时候呢你要可能
Just a
要
little.
这样掂两下啊。
And so we like to plant our plants when they're a little young because we don't
我
want
们要
them
它那个
to
很
have
小
any
的把它
opportunity
放进
to become root bound.
就这个种进去，
And so-
就把这些原来的土把它放进去。
And you want to make sure you cannot see that nursery soil. E ola oi. E ola oi. E ola ma kone. E ola ma kone. One more time.
然后再来一次，最后一次。
E ola oi. E ola oi. E ola ma kone. E ola ma kone. If you live, we all live.
啊，如果你一生存的话，我们都生存。
All right.
好。
So we.
Kami di tempat menanam pokok. Pokok apa Zara? Pokok Royal Hawaiian Sandalwood. Tadi kami dah menanam pokok sandalwood. Jadi ini satu pengalaman yang tak dapat nak digambarkan dan tak akan dilupakan kerana dapat dapat melihat segala proses menanam memilih benih memilih benih. Kemudian apa tadi kita buat Zara? Kita pilih benih. Ni salah satu benih.
Ini
Benih
tu.
sandalwood. Nampak tak?
Ya.
So selain daripada tu, lepas kita dah pilih, kita tanam kan?
Tanam.
Kita tanam benih
Kat sini.
dekat tanaman. Dan kita pergi melihat proses bagaimana menghasilkan minyak. Penghasilan distillation. Kerana itu
Tengok macam ni.
buat set apart yang living. Kerana dapat kita melihat proses penghasilan daripada scratch, daripada
Scratch.
Zara.
I broke.